Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about underrated books that I love. I'm going to include both YA and classic novels in this. So it's just any book that I feel that is underread or underappreciated that I actually love and don't think it gets enough hype or enough people talk about it. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is one that literally nobody knows exists. I made my friend read it a couple of years ago, and it's one that my mummy actually told me to read because she loved it and she read it whenever she was a child. I'm not sure what genre this would fit into, like maybe middle grade. I would say it's younger than YA but older than children's novel because it does deal with some heavier topics. It does have quite an upsetting ending. But I would highly recommend reading this book, especially if you like French and if you're a beginner in French, because I love the French language and I love like the little pieces of French that are throughout the novel. And that is Please Don't Go by Peggy Woodford. You can get this book on Amazon because I've never seen it in any bookstore, but you can buy it on Amazon. It's just a really cute book that like you'll always like. I've always remembered and I always think about, but I don't know anybody that knows actually what it is or what it's about. It's basically this girl who is in France, I think for the summer, and she meets this boy and it's just about their relationship really. It is really interesting, it's really easy to read, it's quite short so you could read it probably in one sitting or in a day or two. So I would highly recommend reading this. The next book I definitely think nobody appreciates, especially because of how good it is and how relevant I think it is today to read, and that is Franny and Zooey by Salinger. Obviously everybody knows Salinger because of The Catcher in the Rye, but nobody ever thinks about any of his other published works. I think this is the best one. I've read all of his published works and I think this is definitely the best one. Like, even though The Catcher in the Rye is my favourite novel of all time, I would probably place this above The Catcher in the Rye in how good it is, which is kind of strange. But it's really easy to read, it's really short. It basically just follows Franny and Zooey, who are brother and sister in the Glass family, who have 7 brothers and sisters as a whole, and you just get to see really their attitudes and outlooks on life and religion. And there is also an underlying tone of like mental illness and how the characters suffer with mental illness. I personally think it's never mentioned in the novel, and it's kind of like it's an unsaid thing. They're dealing with mental illness. It's unsaid, so I personally viewed that and I saw that in the novel just because I always find those topics of mental illness very interesting, and I did notice that, and Salinger incorporates that into the novel, so I found it very interesting. And if you are interested in mental health, I would highly recommend it. It's also in no way offensive, it's in no way difficult to read or anything like that, so I would recommend this. Next book also I don't think like anybody really knows about, and that is This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I only have this big collection that I got from Barnes & Noble whenever I was in America a few years ago, and it's a really pretty hardback edition just of a collection of his works. I've only read This Side of Paradise and The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, but I hated The Great Gatsby. I absolutely love This Side of Paradise. It was written, I think, in 1920, his first novel, or at least his first published novel, and I think it's a lot more interesting than The Great Gatsby. There is a pretentious attitude in it, but like it's not as it doesn't try as hard with This Side of Paradise, and I think the reason why I liked it is personally it reminded me of J.D. Salinger, who's my favourite author. It did remind me of just the way he writes, and I highly enjoyed it. If you just want a simplistic read, but in the novel the character loves books himself, so that's always quite entertaining to read about. It's just him in college. I read it a few years ago, so I can't actually remember like the details of the plot, but if you like that kind of time period and you like The Great Gatsby, I would recommend picking it up. But if you also don't like The Great Gatsby, I would also recommend picking this up. The next book is a very long one, and it's one that nobody really knows about, and that is Forever Amber by Kathleen Winsor. As I said, this is quite a long novel, it's about 1,000 pages, but it is historical fiction. It is extremely entertaining the whole way through. If you're intimidated by longer novels, I'd still recommend picking this up because it's still fast paced even though it is so long. It's extremely lovable. You kind of like, you hate Amber, like the main character, but you also really love her, so it's really entertaining to read about. It's very different. It deals with hard topics, but it also is a as I said, very lovable and light at the same time. So the whole way through you're just absolutely feeling for the characters, feeling sorry for what Umbra has to go through. The next book that I'm going to say is, I don't know if it would be underrated, but I would say it's underappreciated more because of other things that the Bronte sisters wrote, like Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, and that is Anne Bronte's The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Not a lot of people know about this book just because, as I said, of Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, it kind of like overshadows her novels. But I absolutely love this book. It's quite easy to read. It follows two point of views in the most original way I have ever read about. It is kind of a feminist novel, as weird as it is being set in this time, but that's always really entertaining to read about now, considering we know how much that things have changed and how much better things are now. So it's so entertaining reading about feminism. Like, well, it's not really said that it's feminism, but you can kind of tell that it is. It's extremely interesting the whole way through. We really feel for the main characters, and it's just one of those books that you can't go in, you kind of have to go in blindly. So I don't want to say too much about what it's about, but if you are thinking about reading classics, this is one of the first ones that I read, so I definitely would recommend picking this up if you, no matter what genre you like to read, or if you do love reading classics and you've just missed this one out, I would pick this one up next. The next one is kind of a strange one because I think it used to be more popular than it is now, which is like fair enough, but like I still don't think that it was ever talked about as much as it should have been, and that is Beautiful Creatures by Garcia and Margaret Stohl. This is one of those series that I absolutely loved. Like, yes, I did enjoy like The Hunger Games more than I enjoyed this, and it didn't have as much hype around it just because the movie was a bit of a failure and they didn't do the movie as well as it should have been. Like, the Hunger Games movie was done like absolutely unbelievably. This wasn't. This didn't accurately represent the plot or the characters or anything like that. But I think that this is one of those books that if you're into YA that you should definitely read. Like, even though it's not that well written, like it's still highly entertaining. It's one of those books where you really start to love the characters, and not only just the first one, but I think the whole way through it's completely entertaining, and the plot keeps getting thicker and so much more entertaining just as you keep going, because you just can't get enough of these characters. So that's it for today anyway. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you disagree with anything I said, please let me know, and please let me know the reasons why as well. If you have any books that you think are you personally think are underrated, if they don't get enough attention, please let me know, and maybe I will read them, because I always like reading books like that people love that nobody really knows about. So thank you for watching anyway, and please subscribe and like if you haven't already.